Welcome to the Depth Perception Podcast.
We go in depth about the perceptions and misconceptions of optometry,
which includes the business of optometry,
social issues within optometry,
and life as an optometry student.
Coming straight from Dr. Jasdeep Singh Soni,
Dr. Nadia Afghami,
Dr. Douglas Akiti,
and Svetlana Nunez. We hope you enjoy this episode.
All right, guys, welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. We have Joshua Davidson with us today. We're really excited. It's been a long time coming, I think. We've been connecting through social media since before COVID, I think, right, Josh? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's nice to actually finally communicate with you, like, with voices. It's really nice.
I know. You hear me all the time annoying everyone on the gram anyway, so no, it's a pleasure, I'm sure. But tell us a little bit about yourself, just a little background really quick for anyone who kind of doesn't know you, so that we can kind of, get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you for having me. Again, I'm a little hoarse today, so you have to excuse my little deeper voice. We're having a little something called croup go through our house right now, and evidently that's when, like, kids get a little viral infection and everyone in the house kind of suffers. So my 6-year-old brought that home. But I'm Josh Davidson. I graduated from MCO back in 2013. So I don't know when it happened, but now I'm no longer one of the young doctors. So I'm looking at y'all and I'm like, man, I am definitely not one of the young doctors. So that's kind of a new thing for me to realize. I moved down from Michigan to Louisiana, and I work for a practice called Williamson Eye Center right now. And we're a big OD MD group. Primarily focused on cataract, refractive surgery, as well as just general eye exams. We do a lot of MIGs. Back in 2019, they gave me the keys to the kingdom to start their dry eye center and their specialty lens center. So that's my life. We have some externs from Nova. Yep, so we have some Nova externs. They're awesome. They've been great. I manage the externship program. And man, I've when you see this many dry eye patients and this many patients a day, anywhere from 30 to 50, I found some areas that, some treatments and some products that weren't available for our patients. So I kind of created a few different products out there. If you could see my sloppy desk, I have got like all sorts of wild stuff here about stuff that I'm working on next. That I've found a need for in clinic. I mean, I even have
yeah, let's see a preview. What is this?
I even have like beakers and like.
You got us curious.
Are you measuring? What are you measuring here?
Well, I can give you a little clue.
Yeah, please.
This
is an exclusive. This is an exclusive.
Just you and us and everybody else.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
So, everyone's kind of in the makeup game now and all that stuff, but there's definitely an area of something I get asked all the time about my women that suffer from dry eyes that I've been working on, a product that might relieve one of their big non-dry eye complaints. So been working on that a while.
If you need a woman's opinion, there's two here. So
yeah, I have great opinions.
I have amazing opinions.
You two are too young for this product.
Maybe I look young because I'm using whatever product it is that you need.
Look at her, man. She's sharp as a tack.
I am not that young. Thank you for saying that. I turned 36 this year, so you say these young docs, but really I'm looking at Svetlana Nunez over there.
Nadia, that is so young.
Well, I'm the elder statesman in the room still, so I got you beat. So I'm just about to hit that presbyopia. So
I'm getting there. Don't worry, it's happening.
Whenever it comes out, I am so excited to try it at whatever age I need it at. But hopefully,
you got about 30, 40 years. So
okay.
I'll
try it in 30,
40 years. That's a long time.
That is a long time.
Does Louisiana got a lot of retirees? Is that what brought you out there, or was it the beignets, or a little bit of laser? Like, how did you do that from Michigan to Louisiana?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. So when I was, first off, when I was at undergraduate at the University of Michigan, Katrina hit, and I did one of those alternative spring breaks where I came down with the Catholic Church in my area, and we cleaned up the lower Ninth Ward, and I fell in love with the area. I thought it was great. I thought Louisiana was so cool. I thought the people, despite having all this issue, I mean, their entire, segments of their town, New Orleans, were just wiped away. They were just so great. And so after or during optometry school, I was the president of the student body and all that stuff. So I talked to all the reps, and I got a really cool offer to move down here. I was a single guy, and we're gonna put you up wherever you want, pay you a lot of money, and just go live life. And I did, and had fun. The laws down here are great. I mean, it's kind of like the Wild West. I mean, you can, it's our OAL is wonderful. I couldn't hope for a better organized optometry group. And so we really can do anything that, you really do want. It's great. So, and of course, a couple things about, my little area. Ever since Katrina, a lot of those downtrodden folks had to move to Baton Rouge and Jackson, Mississippi, and Lafayette and all that. So when that happened, Baton Rouge became the number one, I want to say this correctly, the number one per capita rate of HIV/AIDS
Oh, wow.
in the country. So, you don't really typically have a healthy populace when you have that kind of statistic. So we have a very unhealthy population. I mean, you think about our food. Everyone knows about our food all around the world, and it is that good. Good. So
What's
everyone,
your favorite?
you can't.
Jambalaya?
I make a really mean pastilla. I will say that.
Wow.
Ooh.
We're
I
going to
know,
come
right?
over.
It's taken me 11 years, but I think I got it. I got it. But man, it's got to be crawfish. Have y'all had
Oh.
crawfish?
No.
I
I can't
have.
remember.
Field trip.
It's
Field trip.
delicious.
Y'all are
I've not
coming
been
on down.
to. I've not been to Louisiana. I know that they had the conference there last year,
They
New
do.
Orleans. Yeah, I wanted to go, but not made it there yet. It's not that far from Florida, but
Come on. It
this
is
weekend
really.
sounds good. Let me pencil you in.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, my life is sometimes that open. Well, yeah, so let's do this. But no, it really is.
Yeah.
It really is that great. It's a great state.
Your Louisiana sales pitch right here. Like you can make
Wow.
more coming out of graduation. You can practice to the full extent. There's good opportunities here, good food. I'm loving
Yeah.
it.
I know.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it is a little hot, especially as a Midwesterner.
Mm.
It is pretty hot, but other than that, it's pretty cool.
So when it's hot, I think it's important to have like drinks, stay hydrated. On that note, how do you focus on that?
That was really good. That was a really
Segue.
good.
They don't.
Wow, I'm telling you what, man, that was
It's
great.
JD.
We don't have
He's
the
an
podcast
actor.
for nothing.
That was great. And with a transition like that, I also have the initials JD, but I mean, you win them because that was that good. So for the rest of this, you are called JD. All right. Yeah. So that brings us up to kind of what I've got a little notoriety for, I suppose. But when you see 30 to 50 dry eye patients a day, and you're telling people, hey, just drink more water. It's 1,000 degrees out there with 99% humidity. You walk outside and it's like walking into a sauna. Just drink more water and your eyes will feel better. And when people did, lo and behold, their eyes felt better. But everyone said the same thing. They said, I can't remember to drink that much water, whatever. And so I said, okay, well, go drink Drip Drop, go drink Liquid IV, go drink all those powdered supplements that are hyperhydrating.
Yeah.
And I said, and people did it. And they said, wow, I am seeing a little bit of a difference with this. And I'm really close with, I think we have 18 or 19 docs at my practice. And one of the ophthalmologists I'm really close with, his name's Dr. Smith. And he said, hey, dummy. He said, there's a ton of sugar in those. I said, really? I looked up the ingredient list. I said, yeah, there is. Oh my God, no shit. I don't know if I can swear.
Yeah, that's
That's okay.
We'll beep that out. And I said, no way. There is a ton of sugar in that. And sugar, as we all know, is pro-inflammatory. And I'm a big believer in the fact that a lot of dry eye obviously is MGD related, but a lot of it does have a huge inflammatory component. So I said, no big deal. I'm just going to look up and find a product that doesn't have a lot of sugar. or, fake stuff. And it didn't exist. And Williamson, my practice has been around for almost 80 years now. And they've all, it was started by an optometrist years ago. He had a bunch of sons. They all went into ophthalmology, oddly enough. And so they've actually created a lot of their own products and surgical instruments and things like that. So they kind of helped me get this off the ground. And we went through 43 formulations. We did all sorts of crazy research, and we ended up landing on the original dry eye drink formulation. And it's been a hit. Despite me putting zero money into marketing, despite me doing, I would send like Nadia, I'd send her some and just stuff like that. And the word got out slowly, but the big names, the big names.
Oh, the big names.
Nadia.
Thank you.
Nadia.
Superstar.
I hope you mean me as a big name here.
That's what I mean. Yeah, the superstars.
No, I loved it. I felt like part of the startup, I was like, yeah, of course, I'd love to support, we're always kind of like willing to support like the optometry community in general, but continue to continue.
And it was great. And word got out. We got nominated or what have you for the Academy of Optometry's Bright Ideas competition, and finalized and all that. And it was great. But we knew to take it to the next level, it couldn't just be me and my son every morning bagging these things up, spending an hour every morning bagging them up, go to the post office, drop all these things in before they even open. It just wasn't feasible. And so we licensed it to Brooder. We had a couple really nice offers, and we chose Brooder because they know the eye care community. They're all about eye care. They know about doctors. We had a couple offers from non-eye care community companies. I just don't think they would know what to do with it. And this was really designed to, get in practices, to honestly sell in practices. We're a referral center, and anytime that you can get a touch point with your patients, that's a great thing. That's a really great thing. So that's really what it was designed to do, and Brooder knew how to do that. So that's kind of the longish version of it.
We want every detail. Don't worry. I mean, that's so unique. How many doctors do you hear coming up with a new inventive idea or a product and have so much passion about it, right?
Yeah, it's been a lot of work, but it's been great. We really only had a few complaints about the original one, and it's hard to mix because all these what I guess you should probably know what's in it. So basically,
please share.
Like it's not just powdered sugar or what have you, or no sugar. First off, no sugar, very very little sodium, and what we did is we basically we looked at all the different research things that we're going to mix well together, and we found some anti-inflammatory ingredients like green tea extract, taurine, turmeric, and omega-3 from algae. And then we also found put some vitamins in and various electrolytes. So it's kind of like those liquid powdered hyperhydration packets, but it's ones that have got ingredients that are designed for the ocular surface. One of the only complaints we had was a few of our little old ladies that would take the normal one before they go to bed. They have a hard time sleeping because it does have B vitamins, B3, 6, and 12, and the green tea. So then we made the nighttime version, and that only took us just less than 10 formulations, but that's got melatonin, chamomile extract, and valerian root. So all big things that really do help. And actually what was interesting is there was a lot of debate about whether we wanted to put melatonin in it. And Dr. Paul Karpecki, who has a slice of the company, he's brilliant. He actually wrote a really compelling editorial a couple of years ago in a review of optometry about how melatonin might actually have some dry eye benefits. So everything was done really carefully, and we really weren't thinking it was going to make as big of a splash as it did, but it has. So it's pretty cool.
I'm going to order some for my bachelorette party.
Oh, just let me send you some. Let me send you some.
I am having a 2020 night, so we're gonna do optometry things. We're gonna be in touch.
Dr. Davidson, I cannot sleep at night. My energy is too good from this vitamin. You gotta
That's
help me.
Is that your old lady impression,
Yeah,
JD?
I mean, you try. I don't know.
That
How did
was
you
nice, JD.
No,
That's
I
good.
liked
you get
it.
good?
I don't
That's
have
good.
to do that because I'm already old. It's okay.
No, you're not old. No. Because if you're old, then I'm closing this laptop and I'm leaving because I don't know what that makes me. So you're not old. No.
That's so cool that you said melatonin helps dry eyes.
That's what Dr. Karpecki is recommending more research on it. Gosh, it was probably an article from 3, 4, 5 years ago. But I don't know if anything has been done since. And what I looked up, no research has been done since. But he had some very compelling arguments.
Hey, if he's involved, would you call him the modern goat of like research or speaking? Yeah.
Everything. He's everything. He is. You need to listen. If you were to get him on this, oh my gosh,
JD, you're fangirling a little bit. I don't.
your
He
ratings
is.
go way up.
You could see it in his eyes. He's excited.
JD, live your dreams. Reach out.
That would he's
Josh will give you an introduction, I'm sure.
yes. He actually, I think he knows my name now. Like,
See?
I think it took him a lot.
Wow.
It's taken a lot, but I think he finally. Yeah, I think he knows my name. Yeah, he's amazing. Such a cool
love
guy.
that.
I think Svet has a question.
I do. I wanted to first say that Nadia introduced me to your dry eye drink, and I love powder drinks. Like everybody knows, I love powder drinks. Fell in love with yours, big fan. And I was like, wow, this drink is amazing. Nadia's like, oh yeah, my friend made it. I was like, who's your friend?
Yes.
Yeah.
First
So
we're
much good in that
friends.
statement. So much.
And
We're
I was
friends
like,
forever.
We have.
wow. And then I think that had to be either Vision Expo in Vegas, or that was Academy a year ago in San Diego during one of those times. So I've been a fan since then. So what I see is that you're an innovator. You like to create things. You are creating something new that 60-year-old SV may need. You like dry eyes, so dry eye treatments. Okay, we're there too. I also heard that you like lenses, like contact lenses, sclerals, specialty lenses. But what is your passion in optometry? Like how would you describe your passion? Because there's like so much right now that we're talking about, but what is yours?
Man, that's a great question. I don't think I've ever been asked that before. That was phenomenal.
We're here for you. We're here to expand your heart.
It's such a good question. It's almost overwhelming because I guess I got a lot. I've got quite a few different passions in optometry. The first off is when it comes to the patients. Of course, I love dry eye. So many patients come in and just honestly simple stuff is missed, like nocturnal leg ophthalmos missed, which I'm working on stuff for. Someone just got a ton of inflammation and they've been given nothing wrong with Sustain or Refresh or anything like that, but nothing's been done for that. So my passion is with just a few visits making a huge difference in people's life. So that's a big one. Secondly, this, okay, what we're doing right here, this is super cool. This is super cool. And I don't think that I was sitting here thinking, I had my son on my shoulder and I was sitting here, we're watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Fantastic. Just whoever writes that, just a bomb writer. Good stuff. Not as good as Bluey. But I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, you know what? Here are 3 to 4 young ODs and OD student that live all over the country that have to get on the same page to talk to me. Like, and you do this like all the time. And then you go to conferences. Like, how cool is it that there are people that are willing to do that get together and talk and hang out for the betterment of the profession? And then, of course, just, when you do go to a meeting, whether it's a Vision Expo or optometry's meeting, the fact that you're seeing all these people, like if I see Nadia, I'm going to run over and give her a big old hug. And JD, he's the superstar over there. He earned the name. I'm going to go, shake his hand. And I remember seeing him one time. I saw you one time, and it was in San Diego, I want to say. And I was on the phone outside of a meeting, on a street corner, and you came up and gave me a high five. That's the only time I ever saw you, but I remember that. Man, like, it's such a cool profession full of such cool people. So I think my passion is getting to know more and more cool optometrists, and
Yeah.
we're really lucky. We really,
It's
really are.
It's funny that you say that because this pod, we actually didn't know each other for a long time before we decided to start the podcast. Actually, we all just met at like Transitions Academy, and then the next time we just bonded so well that the next time when we met in San Diego, actually, we were like, why don't we start a podcast? And so we just kind of came together and we did it. And I agree. I just think that the profession is so small that we all kind of have this like tight knit community. And, it doesn't matter how old you are, how long you've been in the profession, like everyone's very welcoming, I think.
Yeah. And it's, for all of us being competitors in it, I guess, which we're really not, but it's never felt that way. So it's a really cool profession.
What I like, what you're hitting on is like these things. It's fun. Like it gives you a rush. It makes you excited. It gives you energy. Like this does not feel like work. Time is flying by
No.
right now, and that's how it should be, right? Whether it be your career or whatever you're doing. And sometimes, obviously, there's this hard things that we have to go through and get that delayed gratification. But us connecting and bringing these ideas forward and talking about like you talking about your innovation, whether it be a dry drink, like that's so inspiring to hear. And I mean, it should be all fun.
Let me tell you another passion, I suppose, and why optometry is so great is I was with my friends, and my friends are all up in the northeast, and we're all talking about getting together to go watch horse races because they like doing that, and up in Saratoga, and they're like, talking about what we do for fun and all that. And I was like, I like speaking for fun, and I like sitting in my office and making things. And they're like, what? So like, what you do for fun is like your job? I was like, yeah, I like going and doing that too every day. I've never not had a bad day at work. And they're like,
Wow.
what? I was like, they're like, you're lying. I was like, no, I really haven't. Like, it's been 11 years and I've never had a truly bad day where I wish I was doing another profession. I don't think they believe it because they're not in it. You're always gonna have a bad day, but
Yeah, my days are my scleral days, and I know that you're a big expert, but
I'm not an expert. I just do a lot of them.
I'm just always on consult. Like, hello?
So
Like,
humble.
I did that the other day. I'll tell you what, and I do a ton of sclerals, and I had our two externs. Shout out Kennedy Smith and Cremont, and I actually called one of the labs. I said, yeah, here's what I'm thinking. And the guy's like, no, that's not right. You're gonna do that's like we're gonna do the exact opposite of what you think.
I just let them think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey, it's like, hi, not good.
But as much as you may think you know about something in this profession, there's always someone that knows more, and they're usually pretty easy to get a hold of. In this case, like a scleral lens.
I'm gonna text you. Don't worry.
I think you're better off not. Like, I just get a lot of reps of stuff. Like that's it. Because there's just so many patients down here.
You're a big writer too, right? So you love writing for Modern Optometry and know some other publications and that kind of thing. How do you like get into that? Like, did the opportunity just come to you? Did you have to seek it? Like, tell us a little bit about the backstory about like all of the writing that you do.
Yeah, that's a really great question, and I'm going to kind of pivot kind of alongside of it because I think it's really cool because I definitely think probably a lot of your listeners are kind of on the younger age, and I got into speaking. We'll talk about speaking first. I got into speaking because one of my good friends and one of the guys I work with every day, his name is Blake Williamson, and he's like the KOL of ophthalmology. Like it's like him and Vance Thompson. He's all over the place. Superstar. I call him One Take Blake. I mean, he just does everything perfect. He hosts his own podcast. Shout out to him on Ophthalmology Off the Grid with Dr. Wirtz. Again, another superstar. But he asked me, hey, would you ever be interested in lecturing? I said, yeah, well, I would love to lecture. So I went to Jackson, Mississippi with him, and I lectured my first ever time with him in front of a bunch of ophthalmologists and optometrists. And man, like, oh God, like I did awful. Like, just because he's so polished and he's so good, and he's this tall, good-looking guy that just words flow out so good. He's been doing this forever. And then there's little old me, and just nervous, shaking like a leaf. So, when it comes to, your young docs that may be interested in doing it, you know, uh, man, just any opportunity you get, even if you're going to go up there with a superstar who's definitely going to outshine you, just do it. That's a big thing. So I kind of got asked initially if I was interested, and then I kind of went into it. And then after that, the speaking gigs just kind of kept coming and coming. And then when that happens, I got asked to write a few articles. And with that, I also pitched some ideas to some editors, and it just kept growing and growing. So if you're interested in writing, for example, I know Modern Optometry, I'm on the advisory board over there. Just get a hold of Miss Karen and just email her your idea. And man, oh man, she'd probably eat that up, because they're always looking for new names and new faces, and someone that really wants to do it. So that's my recommendation is, reach out to these editors, because they would love to have you write something. And if you want someone to team up with, reach out to someone like me. Happy to team up. Myself and our last extern wrote an article in Modern Optometry about inflammation in dry eyes. And it's a great way for her to get involved. So now her name's out there. That's really it. It just kind of fell, I guess it kind of fell into my lap, but then I had to pursue it a little harder.
Yeah, because I think that's how we originally kind of connected. You were like writing an article, and so we got to know each other through that.
Yes, you were my, now I remember the article. It was the top 10 Instagram accounts that you have to follow. And who was on number one? That girl.
Damn.
It's not as good anymore,
Number
but it's
one.
okay.
Oh, yeah,
Back then, I was a little more. Now, a lot of bigger players have come into the shot, the light. But
they were so genuine. Like I'll never forget the one where you were the one that really caught my eye, and I just laughed uncontrollably and showed everyone in the clinic, was when you were like the different types of eye doctors going to class.
yeah, like the
Like all
different
the
kind of
optometry, like all the
professions.
bags
Yes.
and stuff. I was like, oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
COVID was a crazy time, guys.
Yeah, it was. That was nuts. I actually, COVID story. So my wife and I were splitting up at that point without oversharing. And so I had this little apartment, and I had my son, and the apartment was so little that I had to do telemedicine. So I scheduled my telemedicine during his nap time, because he was 18 months.
Wow.
2 months. So I would push his crib into the bathroom, turn on the
Aw.
white noise, turn on the fan, and then during his nap time, I would do my telemedicine.
It's okay.
And
I'm gonna have my baby in the exam room next door, so
Well, if you're single, that story's gonna hit. I might steal it.
ridiculous.
You have told us so much that I'm wondering, how do you juggle everything? I feel like you're an individual that's signing up for this, you're passionate about this and that. How do you juggle your career and like life at home being a father?
It's not as difficult as you think. Early in your career, when you get tapped on the shoulder, say yeah, say yeah, say yeah. And then, when you're a little older like me, you can start saying, maybe not, maybe not. But it's really not that hard. You make time for the things that you like to do. And thankfully, I think everyone on this podcast, and probably a lot of people listening on this podcast, just love eyes. They love that stuff. And so writing an article is enjoyable. It's a hobby. You could sit down and watch Shogun. You could sit down and watch 90 Day Fiance, or you can skip 2 of those episodes and write an article or 2. So it's really not you can easily make time for it. And
Yeah, me and shopping. I always have time.
These projects, like, is that what inspires you to say, hey, like, every day I feel like I'm having fun and living my best life? Maybe it's chicken or egg situation, like you're enjoying your work and that leads to these projects, or like I can't say every day's been perfect for me, and maybe that's more common, but like I guess how would you say, how can you make your day more fun, or how can you pursue things that are more fun? Like, what would you say to that?
it's a great question. You guys are good. That's a great question too. How do you make your day more fun? Well, you got to surround yourself with people that are fun, and if they're not fun, make them fun. Like my lead scribe, I adore her, and we have the exact opposite personalities. So they call me SpongeBob and they call her Squidward. So I'm bopping around. I'm always having a good time, and but just surround yourself with people that you like, you care about, you have fun with. My technicians and my team are great, and one thing that I do that I find really interesting is I don't have any around me. Every day, in my white coat, because I still do the white coat. I still have the baby face, so I got to look older. Um, I have a lined note card, and I put that note card in my pocket. And if a patient says something interesting, like maybe, boy, I wish this existed. It's like, huh. Or they're on a medication. They're like, well, I'm on blah, 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 medication. I'm like, oh yeah, I know all about that. And then I'll look it up, I'll look it up later. And then, or if I just have an idea, I'll write it down on this note card. And then when I come home, I'll look all that stuff up and see if there's anything I can do. But I think too that as you get more into your career, you kind of see more of the patients that you want to see. When I started off, I just saw everything, and I don't particularly care for macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. I don't really care for all that, and so now my patients are what I want to see all day. That's really cool. That's really cool. And for all of you young doctors out there, you might be seeing just a bunch of patients that, oh gosh, I'm just not jiving with this person. Ugh. Well, the longer you're in your profession, those are going to kind of self-select out. The patients that really like you, that, like really value you, they're going to stick with you. And the ones that maybe you didn't jive with as much, they're going to kind of fall off and go ruin some other eye doctor's life for a while. It's, and as you spend more time in clinic, you get more and more and more and more regulars. It just gets more fulfilling. The job gets more fun as you do it. But again, the big thing is I would just spend your time surrounded by people that you enjoy being around. If you have just bad staff, you're going to be miserable.
Things I took away. So you said surrounding yourself in a good environment with good people. But when you were noting that note card thing, I think it's fun, but it's also kind of like you're hitting on, I'm open to personal growth and growing every day, which I think is an amazing thing, because I think a lot of us, when we graduate, it's kind of like, oh, I'm done. Then we throw a party. I never learn again, which is like the complete opposite of reality, right? Like there's so much that we're learning now and challenging ourselves. And then on top of that, the third thing you said was, as you go in time, you can kind of self-select, like you're saying, hey, these things will stick out that I want to do, that I can pursue more. And that, I guess that just kind of requires some patience here.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day. And my favorite head coach, let me find this quote. I've got a whole bunch of quotes on my computer. Oh, did I delete it? Oh, Coach Harbaugh, Michigan's old head coach, national championship winning coach. So if you read my newsletter every week, you'll notice I throw almost every week a little bit of shade at Ohio State. So sorry, Ohio State.
Not even
almost
subtle.
Every week in Significant Finding, there's a little bit of shade at Ohio State. But Harbaugh says, the only job that you start at the top is digging a hole. And it's true. Like you're never going to start at the top at any job out there. Even if you open cold, it's going to be not super enjoyable at the beginning. So you never start at the top.
Are we
Wow.
going to see you on Shark Tank anytime soon? I see that for you.
I mean, Bruder's doing really good with this product. I'm, despite the, oh gosh, also, maybe someday that would be cool, but I'm sure a lot of my patients think that because I've got that Midwestern accent, and I think it's kind of neutral, but a lot of my patients say, "You sound like a car salesman, used car salesman."
Oh my goodness,
Uh,
used, not
Used.
new.
No, I'm not trying to sell you Restasis here. Like, I'm not trying to sell you a cyclosporin. But
You're like, hey sharks, I'm here to sell you dry eye drink. I see that for you.
Brooder's doing pretty good, so hopefully we do well with them. But who knows? Maybe we go on the market. I hope not, though. That'd be too much stress.
The more you build, the more stressful it is, but the more things that you get back. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's it is interesting. We'll see. I mean, I've got a couple other. Oh, and actually, I can't say that. Never mind. But we got a couple other really cool ideas that's not affiliated with human dry drink and all that. So
We're so close to getting that information there.
Wow. Yeah, I really felt like we were doing something there.
We like to have fun on the pod, as you can tell, but I think we got a couple fun questions that we want to ask, right, guys? Right, ladies?
fire away.
I think one of the fun questions was from Doug. And he said something like, which of the dry eye drink flavors works best with alcohol?
Ooh.
That was my question.
What does Reach
just
say?
kidding. That's Nadia's question.
Just kidding. It's Doug's
Ooh.
question because I'm not wondering that. But
Okay, never mind. It's nobody's question. It's just something.
just a
Open thought.
question,
It's just a question. Yep. It doesn't belong to anyone.
I want to say Pam Terrio, who is like a dry eye goddess. If you don't know who Pam Terrio is, she is wonderful. Terrio is a Louisiana name, Theriot. Wonderful on LinkedIn. Just a wonderful human being. But I want to say she was working on some recipes for it. But most people do like the mixed berry and the strawberry lemonade for that. I'm not telling you what to do, but with the strawberry lemonade, you could add some clear alcohol and cut it maybe with some Sprite. And that would be
for the bachelorette party, I'm
yes.
write this all
I
down.
need to pull out my index card. Write it down.
Yeah. One second.
Be vertical lined.
Vertical lines.
Strawberry.
Oh,
Got it.
It's not like he invented it or something.
Yeah, that's crazy. Are there any contraindications with any clear liquids that I can add, or?
I don't think so.
Okay, perfect.
I've never been asked, but I can tell this is a younger podcast. This is exactly. So this is interesting though, going back to like the flavors. So when I looked at, the people that like and were ordering orange and repeat ordering orange, it's always older people, like 50s and 60s and 70s. And then the younger folks like strawberry lemonade and mixed berry. Like, why is that? So I actually called some of these people that ordered it, and I was like, "Hey, I see you order, orange. Can I ask why?" And all these older folks, they say because it tastes like Tang. Now I didn't grow up with Tang, so I don't know what Tang tastes like. But yeah. So older folks like orange, younger folks like mixed berry. And
do they make Tang anymore? I feel like that's not made anymore. I've not heard Tang in a while.
I guess not. That's why they're here.
Yeah.
What's Tang? Should I know this?
See, the youngest one has no idea.
It was like
This always happens.
It was like an orange juice, but it was kind of like watered down a little bit. I don't want to
And you added it was a powder. It could be a powder. And so it was. I think, and I'm probably wrong, but I think it got famous because it went to space or something like that. They sent it to space, and it was a thing. Probably just marketing. I don't know.
We'll send the dry eye drink to space. I'm sure they have dry eyes with zero gravity, right?
Oh yeah. Well, Heidelberg set up one of their OCTs.
Perfect.
At the ISS. So
You're basically in.
Yeah, right. Just send them some of that stuff. Also, one really cool thing. So we talk about how you got to enjoy your job, and when you see patients suffering or not doing what they should, you're all doctors that are listening to this probably, or reps or whatever. Man, if a patient tells you something like, "Oh man, I'm not doing it because of this," and you can develop something, do it. Reach out to me. I'll help you develop it. But so I love the Bruder mask. I've always loved the Bruder mask. It was like that is my number one thing. But so many of my patients are like, when I lay down in bed, I'm all warm and comfortable. I don't want to go to the microwave and heat this thing up and then run back to bed and lay it down. I said, well, there's got to be something different. And there was, but there was like these heat masks that you could buy from like Japan and China, and they were single use. They were like hot hands, but they never got therapeutically hot enough, long enough. So I got a hold of one of those manufacturers and said, okay, I need it we need at least, I know studies say 41.5 degrees Celsius, but I said I needed at least 43 to 45 degrees Celsius maintained, and I want it maintained for at least 10 to 12 minutes. And they made it, and it has worked great. So we have the little hydration masks that great for travel and all that. So you basically, I think I've got one.
Bachelorette party, guys. My list is growing of things I need to buy.
It's this. Hold on. So it's basically a little mask.
Very cute.
Down, and then you just rip it open. And
nice.
Then, it basically, you wear it, and then it heats up on its own, and you wear it for 10, 15, 20 minutes. I tell patients 15 minutes, and then
just throw it away.
Most of it is recyclable.
Okay.
Which was a thing. So
Okay, we should have done this yesterday because my patient was like, I don't own a microwave. It's a common thing in the Bay Area. And I was like, maybe you can put the mask over a boiling water and
now you know, call him back.
Yeah.
And I don't know how true this study is, but I saw a study, it blew my mind. 15% of Americans don't own a microwave. I cannot believe that is true. But if it's true, that's interesting. So yeah, there's something for patients too. It's just you heat it up; it's already hot. It works really good.
It's awesome.
Just one of those needs that my patients needed, and there wasn't anything else out there. So
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna carry a note card in my pocket, and then just start writing things down.
And so during my undergraduate graduation ceremony at Michigan, our speaker was Larry Page, who's an alumni who created Google. And he said, always have a piece of paper or a notepad or whatever with a pen next to your bed. Because evidently there was
best ideas happen at night or something.
Yeah, there was some kind of some part of the algorithm of the Google algorithm. He woke up in the middle of the night and wrote it down. And that was his advice for all the graduates.
I think you have to be like, you are very like innovative in your mind. So people are talking and you're like, wow, that's, let me write that down. I'm going to invent that. Me, I'm like, wow, I can't wait to post about this later because this is going to make a funny skit on my reels. Like we have different note card vibes here, I think.
Well, you could use the note card for that.
Okay, great. Perfect.
And that's the beauty of that. Someone else might, be a writer or want to just use funny stuff patients say and compile stuff, and they can use their note card for that. But I think that's one of the best things young docs can do. Let's just have a little note card.
This is great. I think we were coming into this conversation like, hey, like what topic should we call this? And like you clearly are the innovator, man. Like whether it be making a drink or making a dry eye mask or being in clinic or giving advice how to even make innovations, like these are great nuggets and tips about keeping a note card with you, or just saying, hey, what is the need and what do I want to do, what am I passionate about. We appreciate you joining the pod and kind of sharing some of that, a slice of your life, so we kind of get a view into it.
Well, man, I'm so glad to be there, or to be here and talking to y'all. It's an honor. Like, this is, again, I hope your audience understands just the logistical nightmare this has to be for y'all every week. Like, I can't get 5 or 6 people that live in this city to show up the same day and get paid for it to be with me. Like, let alone across the country doing all this. So thank you for doing this. And next time we're all at a convention, we can work on those recipes that Nadia was asking.
I'm excited. Mm-hmm.
Pastelaya.
I would love that.
Crawfish and dry eye drinks.
Actually,
that sounds amazing. Perfect meal.
So y'all got to come down. It's a great time down here.
We'll see you in Vegas.
I
Right?
will be in Vegas.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll
Yes.
see
Are
there.
y'all going to be in Vegas?
Yeah.
I don't know. When is Vegas?
Yeah, we're going.
2 weeks
in
before
September.
your wedding.
It's 2
We're
weeks before
going.
my wedding, so it's a week before,
Got
I
it.
think, or the weekend before. So.
You're talking about Vision Expo West.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you moving to Vegas? Is that why are you going to Vegas?
Well, I don't, because there's all there
Oh,
are
okay.
so
All
many
right.
conferences.
Well, for Vision Expo, but
That
That's
is
where he
one.
does the research study for the drinks.
right.
All right, go to the strip and do all that.
Get really dry eyes and then
There is so many conferences though. Like I feel like there's almost too many. You know, I probably just said something. You should probably cut that.
What's your least? What conference should we cut?
You
Podcast.
should probably cut that. Like,
27.
headlining
some
all
real
over.
questions.
Yeah.
Name your least 3 favorite conferences and
I'm gonna get.
Location's a big deal for me. Like Nashville sounds great, and
Yeah.
I'm super excited about that. What's the other one? Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
I've been to Kentucky. Kentucky's nice.
I don't drink whiskey, so I
So
mean,
it's Indianapolis is
Indianapolis.
Academy.
Yeah.
And then Nashville is optometry community. I'll be at those too.
Yeah.
But
See you
Okay.
there.
we'll catch you there.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
see you. Yeah.
oh yeah.
Are you gonna be there? Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So
I'll be
we'll
there.
have to meet up.
But yeah, there are a lot of conferences, and when you go to those
There
big
is.
ones, it is so much fun. Like, oh my
It
gosh,
is.
it is
Party.
so cool.
Yeah.
It's a huge party. Like, where else do you get to go? Like, stand on a rooftop in like Nashville at like Miranda Lambert's bar or something like that, and hang out with
Yeah.
your It's so cool. Like, it is so cool.
It's kind of
Optometrists
like
are just
a
cool.
little bit of a fraternity too.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's,
Yeah, I could see that.
You know, Adam Ramsey's gonna have his hat on. You know,
Oh, love
Carol's
him.
gonna say I'm the best podcaster out there. You know,
No,
her
he's
figure's
our
gonna have
favorite
his fly suits
optometrist.
on.
Also, one more thing. I hope that
Uh-huh.
I'm not following Habir. I hope you don't put me immediately after Habir, because that guy he's incredible. Like he is so good. He is so polished. He's everything, man.
Don't shortchange yourself though. He is amazing.
what
Don't
a
get me wrong, but
superstar.
you're doing great too, man. And
Yeah.
don't worry. There is someone between you, but even if it wasn't, nothing to worry about. This is a great pod. I really enjoyed it, man. And we really appreciate you joining us.
You
Yeah,
probably,
we
you probably
really
put a
did.
walkie-talkie between us, didn't you? Just to really
I may have messaged him.
cast that huge shadow.
We're gonna have to film an emergency pod after this.
But no, thank you so much for having me, guys. It was a lot of fun. Anytime you need someone to chat, let me know. If any of your
Thank you.
audience wants to know like how I started this stuff or any advice, you
Yeah.
can throw my email in the
Yes,
show
please
notes.
tell
Let's put it
everyone
out.
where
Go
to
ahead and
reach
announce it.
you.
Announce it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's J Davidson, Davidson at WECEYE.com. It's a pretty good way to reach me. My staff will tell you I don't answer any emails, but I
What
think
about
I
your
do.
Instagram? Throw the handle out there so they know.
That's a cool way. I need to be more active on that. Like everyone, I need to because the handle's so good. It's so good. Dry eye OD. Like eat
You're
dry.
the first to get
Love
that.
it.
Right?
That's crazy. I know. You
Because I'm
just
so old. That's why.
you're not old. You're the original. It's
And then,
The
but
original. That's different.
the best place is probably LinkedIn.
okay.
I'm actually like,
LinkedIn.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you so much. We loved having
Thank
you.
you.
We'll see you soon,
Yes.
I'm sure.
Absolutely. Thank you guys, and thanks for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Have a good night. I got to go recoup from Coop.
Okay.
Coop, whatever this thing is called. See you guys.
Okay.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Depth Perception podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all of our platforms, including
Spotify,
Instagram,
Google Podcasts,
Apple Podcast.
YouTube. Make sure you click that button. Double tap that.
So you guys have no reason not to follow us and tune in to the next episode.
Stop wasting time.
Get in depth.
Subscribe.